motivation and finding. So the winner of our door prize, who gets a copy of exactly what to say, is
Asta Fisher.
Nice, it's perfect. Asta's one of our new agents. Everybody say hi to Asta. Also, we have Gabe and Josh are here. They're our new agents too. Tanis joined the brokerage. I don't know if you've been to a sales rally yet, Tanis, because we've been doing a lot of barbecues and fun things. And we do have a couple special guests today, you guys. I've got Lynn Velasco's here, and she's going to teach a class after this on CMAs, which everybody should be plugging into. And I've got Derek and Rashad are here from Handyman Heroes. They have capes, by the way. Love. And they're going to tell us a little bit about how they can help us on our deals. And I have a ton of announcements. Because it's the end of the summer and it's like almost next year, I feel like already. It's crazy, but I woke up last week and I was like, 2024 is looming. And we're all doing business to get to 2024. We're filling our pipelines for that right now. So everybody tell me something good. Who has something good that's happened to them this week?
I'm buying a fourplex.
Woo! Amy, that's awesome.
This is super great deal. I'm so excited.
Where's that?
It's in Wenatchee.
Oh, cool.
It's actually a fiveplex.
How many?
But you know, I have to get it permitted still, but it's going to be great.
How many rentals is that now for you?
plus 4. I don't know.
5 plus 12 plus 4. That's a lot. Kim, literally MCA at a calculator for me. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Anybody else? Tell me something good.
Speaking of investment property, I close on one next week.
Woo! Hat Island?
No.
Oh.
Jeff was not excited about that.
No?
Because he hasn't been there.
No.
Did anybody that went to Hat Island get calls about Hat Island? Anybody? I got a referral for listing on Hat Island. Yeah.
Fun.
I am like,
Because of the Island tour?
yeah, I posted on social media and then like,
Oh.
another broker called me from the South End and was like, oh, I saw you on the tour and you know a lot about that. My cousin owns a lot and they need to put it on market.
I found it odd that no agents called us, like to get feedback or like, really?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I would.
Well,
Everybody that was there.
I got Ashton sent me an email with a like follow-up stuff.
Yeah, Ashton. I mean, all the other people that opened their homes.
Right. No, I didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah. Ashton did the whole thing. That was amazing.
Right. I was actually gonna see if I could snag the list from her. Because it was kind of fun. I didn't want to grab anybody's card. It was like it was interesting. Anyway, it was we toured Hat Island. It was super fun. Ashton put together like this amazing broker tour. It was really fun, super informative. We met a lot of brokers. We toured a lot of properties out there, and it's a really cool little hideaway place that's only like really 15 minutes away from life. So if anybody's interested in Hat Island, hit Ashton up, hit one of us up that went on the tour. We have a lot of information. Did you get any referrals or anything from your social media posting or anything like that?
No, not really.
No? How about you, Ashton?
I got a lot of good feedback from the agents. It was really good networking. I did get one listing out of it.
Good.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, somebody else on Hat Island was like, oh, hey, I see you're selling on Hat Island. I need to sell my property.
That's what happened to me too. I got one too. Okay. Anybody else? Tell me something good.
I sold one of my investment properties to build out my barn in New Hampshire.
Yay!
So my shop is now going to be a shouse or a barndominium or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I love that for you. I love that for you. So air is more moisture over here. It's good for your skin.
Yeah, you can breathe.
It's good for your skin. Okay, and then at 1 o'clock today, we have Parking Lot Bash. It's going to be out front. Northwest Escrow is partnered with us to create a really great networking event with food. And it'll be just across in the parking lot by the trees. We have it kind of roped off and there'll be some tents and
Great food.
free food. And then what else? Appy hour. Not happy hour, right? Appy hour because it's about food. It's going to be Wednesday night at 5 at the Ram. It's just outside the bar. We got the long table reserved right there. Gosh, you guys. Okay, so career night. We do career nights once a month to help people find their way in real estate. And we have discounts for getting into Rockwell or K-Score or, brokerage schools. And I'm like so pleased to tell you this. I had a meeting yesterday with our sales rep from Rockwell, and our brokerage has the highest rate of, one of the highest rates of recruits testing out of Rockwell and passing. So they offered us 6 months at a discounted price that brings another $100 off. So we have a $299 to get through your 90 hours right now. So if you guys know anybody that wants to get into Rockwell and into school, now is the time. It's $300 and you can't really beat that. It has a test guarantee and it's the one that comes with the books and the one that I don't think it has flashcards, but does have a guaranteed pass thing. So I'll promote that for September, and I'm going to do a career night at the beginning of September on the 6th. So like when everybody goes back to school, it'll be that Thursday night, I think, is the 6th. Is it Wednesday? Okay, so Wednesday night.
That's okay.
But during the day, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a holiday.
Oh wait, I have to buy pizza.
Pizza, no, it's gotta be good food.
Oh,
What?
It's just the players.
Well, I lost I lost fantasy football last year, so the rule is I have to buy dinner.
Pizza is good food.
September 6th.
No, well, I mean, if it's like deep dish, like China style from a Chinese spot.
I'm trending pizza. Okay, whatever, just keep me posted. Let's see, new agent orientation is on Friday with Amy. So if you are a new agent or you've come off a team and you become a solo agent or you're coming in from another brokerage or anything like that, do not miss Amy's class on Friday. It's such a wealth of information. Last year when I transferred in from Everett to here, I took the class because I was like, oh, I should probably do this. And it blew, like there was a ton of stuff I didn't know. And so it was super helpful for me to plug into that. And then what else? Oh gosh, Mega Camp. So I know a lot of us weren't at Mega Camp. There was only a few of us there and most of them aren't here, but Tim was there. How was it?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Blew your socks off?
Yeah.
Had so
yeah.
much fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I went to Cooper's 3 times. It's the best barbecue place in Austin.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
good. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. Really good, lots to learn. It's always like getting a lot of information from a fire hose, right? But you can like kind of pick your flavor.
Yeah.
And it's all on I found it this morning on the Connect, right? It's all listed out of all the presenters and all their ideas, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel, which is kind of nice, right? I get kind of confused on where should I go and what should I do, and they kind of list out a list of what I did, so just do this.
Yeah. Keller Williams can be a Pandora's box
So good.
of information because it's just something for everyone because there's 1,000 ways to do real estate, right? But I feel like when they solidify it like that, man, they made a whole list of one-pagers, which are one page of somebody's way they did something. There's like 40 of them. And so we'll have those, we'll link to them and have it on the Facebook group, which is really cool. And then also I have all of Gary Keller's slides from the market talk that he did, State of the Market. I can't find the video because they did stream it and I thought they would have it recorded. But so far I've found the slides. There's a couple of them that are really, really good. It talks about the market trend line and how we're still above the market trend line. So even though it feels like there's not as many deals, or it feels like people are sitting longer on the fence, or like all these feels, you can look at that straight data and see that we're still above the trend line. It's still a great year. We're still in like the 4th greatest year in real estate since 1999. So that's amazing. And so I'll post the link to those to Facebook group. At Mega Camp, it was the largest IALC meeting at which is the International Associate Leadership Council. They voted on several proposals that how they're gonna change some things that Keller Williams does on administrative part, on the administrative side. One of the things that was really a popular vote topic was they voted on profit share and how the profit sharing system works. We have an announcement that's coming out. They're gonna do a press release on that, and Kim will get it, and then we'll give an announcement to the brokerage as soon as we get it. And then as soon as that gets announced, it'll probably be on Inman and everything else. But they did make some major changes to how profit share is going to be moving forward. So it's something to pay attention to. And then two more things. I know this is a lot of announcements, but we have two huge events coming up. Our next one is Built How in Phoenix, Arizona. Ben's event that he puts on with Debbie DeGroat and Chris Suarez. It is a not to miss event. It is from the 12th to the 15th in Phoenix. Airfare is still super cheap. I still have a promo code that's 50% off, and it brings your ticket to Built How to $200, $199. So if you can get there, I think Ivy Joe has a Airbnb that's big enough and has a bunch of space. So if you want to get down there and have a place to stay, she has an inexpensive way to stay, right? And she only has her and one other person possibly staying there so far. So definitely get with her and send her a text if you're gonna do that, ASAP. And then you wanna do the family reunion one? Yeah, write Built 50 up there, because that's the code. You just go to builthow.com and then put in Built 50. And it'll drop the price. And you can even get the but okay, the last announcement I have is okay, so family reunion. And I know I'm talking about this like 6 months in advance, but tickets just went on sale and there's early bird prices right now, so it's $6.99 to go to family reunion. And the Northwest region got a plan together with Alaska Airlines, and we have a flight code. So if you book through Alaska Airlines with a flight code, you get a discount, which is awesome. And that is ECM. Uh-oh, I don't know if that's an O or a zero.
It's a 0.
091. Oh, wait, G. Sorry. ECMG. Sorry, Kim.
ECMG.
You know, it's too
0.
Vegas.
What's that?
What's
the
that?
last page?
What's
Yeah.
after the 0?
Oh, 91.
What are the dates of that again?
That is, I have to Google it. February 20th. It's after Valentine's Day. I can do it really quick.
The 25th through the 29th.
Oh, thank you. You can do it quicker than me. Yeah, they pushed it out. I think somebody, you know,
Next year.
maybe they voted on that at the IALC too, huh?
And there is one, what is that? Good Lord. There's one blackout day for the flight code, and I think it was February 25th. So you can book the day before and use the code, or if you just book for the 25th, then the code is blacked out for that day.
Yeah, but it would probably work for the return flight or something.
Yeah.
Just try the code.
Yeah.
It's good to get that going, and I didn't see any, I haven't looked online to see if they broke it up into payments, but last year after family reunion, they made mega camp so you could make monthly payments through the KWRI, so look into that too. Okay, so now that I just talked your ear off for all of those announcements, if you want, downstairs there's calendars with all the information on it for all the classes coming up. I am going to introduce Derek and Rashad to come up and talk about Handyman Heroes and how they can help us as brokers. So come on up here. Everybody, this is Derek and Rashad. Yeah.
And they brought the food, so kick
Yeah.
Vance out of the way and everybody make sure you get food.
Yeah, please eat
Lots
it
of good
all.
stuff back here.
They brought nice breakfast treats for us, and there's coffee.
So I'm Derek, this is Rashad. We're a newer handyman company with an extensive background in construction. And we're just here to help you guys be able to seal a deal. If there's any kind of issues that are preventing you guys from making a sell or a buy or whatever, we can come in and help you guys out with that. With our services, we know that we're an extension of yourself. So we want to make sure we have utmost professionalism as well as quality. And we're just here to help you guys out and hopefully build a good partnership and bring business in for both of us. The other thing too is we'll be willing to give out a 10% discount to any of your clients that are in partnership with Keller Williams.
Nice. What is your area of reach for?
So we go all the way from Bellingham to Northgate, Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have a pretty big area to cover. So anything, we're willing to go further than that, but that's right now where our boundaries are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do we, like, if I was like, oh gosh, I have to like get this railing fixed,
Mhm.
you know, for FHA or something like that.
Yeah.
How do I book? I just call the number?
Yeah, so you can either call the number or go to the website. There's a contact us, and what that does is, and you can give a detailed message and all that, and with a, good callback number or email.
Yeah.
And it'll send us a email, and we can get back to you promptly.
Okay.
We're very responsive. We're very quick on one day at the most turnaround, so we'll be able to get back to you within the next day.
Can I vouch for these guys real quick? Let them know to y'all in advance. I'm team leader here. I work for Kim. I know team leader out in Virginia, but first of all, I want to say those new agents, this is the very best market center, period, in the story, the best staff. Unbelievable. But Derek is basically like my son-in-law, my girlfriend Julie's actual son-in-law. In other words, he's got a baby coming any day now.
Oh,
Yeah,
exciting.
she's due Monday, so
Yeah.
she's gonna go get it.
That's what that
So,
means.
yeah, we're on the last week here.
So Derek worked for Boeing and he's still got, but Julie, when anything will come to the house, he's been in this business his whole life. And I'll never forget, there was a Murphy bed we bought and we were opening it up and it just fell apart. These things come cheaply made these days sometimes. And we were just gonna send it back. Julie ran out for a while, a couple of hours later, he had fixed it. So any little thing these days, because I tell you guys, I don't know if you're seeing, people are becoming less handy, not more handy these days. And I am absolutely less handy. I have to call somebody to put together an Amazon bookshelf. But these guys can do anything from small projects inside, outside. But the key is, and what they know we talked about, is they know that when as a realtor, your client is your paycheck, right? Whether you recommend a lender, title company, that's an extension of your service. And that's the way these guys approach everything. And we all want to have that friend in the business, mechanic, whoever. Everybody needs a good handyman. And I've got no dog in the hunt other than, and I would not recommend these guys if they weren't the best, because I consider all my friends here. They are really, really good. So anyhow, it's my 2 cents. These guys are awesome. They do good work and they know the lay of the land, work with real estate. You got to take care of your bread and butter, right? Right. So anyway, and by the way, it's good to be back here to see all you guys. Didn't you see the best team leader?
Yeah.
So good.
Thanks,
You all
Peter.
have the best MCA and broker as well.
Yeah.
It's almost better than
I got your paperwork ready down in my office.
Yeah, I'm moving my license back.
Yeah, woo, you know why? Because he said it's the best brokerage.
It is the best.
Are you able to be paid out of escrow at closing? Or do you need payment to time of services?
We can do the escrow. Yeah, we'll work with you on that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So I-
absolutely.
Are you guys located in Snohomish County?
Yes. Yeah. We're located here in Snohomish County. Right now we have, we're doing a rebuild on a 560 square foot deck that we're currently working on right now in Everett. But yeah, we work from, like I said, all from Bellingham all the way down to Northgate. But our office is here in Everett.
I challenge everybody to try it out, you know? Like, do you have a project at home that you need, like, I already thought it's free.
Typically, when we go in to do one project, the client usually says, "Oh, hey, by the way, that reminds me, we got this, this, and this, and this."
Yeah.
We're totally workable with that.
My husband's a pre-tired electrician, and so, yeah, pre-tired because he's not working right now. But there's a lot of projects that he's like, I'm not an electrician.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I have a lot of those little things too.
Yep.
Filtering process.
And then also to give you guys a quick background, so like he said, I grew up into it. growing up, I'm 31, my dad was a general contractor growing up. He got me using a nail gun before I could ride a bike. I'm pretty sure he kind of used the child laws, but by the time I was 8 years old, I upgraded to the chop saw, and by 10 years old, I was on the job site. Yeah, yep, and I got all my fingers, so we're good.
That
So,
shows something.
yes.
Those are like trophies.
Yep.
If you come in here like that, I don't know.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, I grew up with that, and then growing through the construction business, I went into fire service at 21 years old, and I did that for 5 years. That's where a lot of my customer service background comes from. I understand, how to communicate with people, and I understand that some days are bad, some days are good, and it's here to try to make it better for people. That's kind of where I bring that back into it. And Rashad here has about 12 years of customer service and hot water tanks and water heaters.
Yes.
So he knows that extent of ventilation and stuff like that. So combined, we can have versatile.
Nice.
Also did mobile detailing as well, so I know how to work power washes. So anybody needs anything like power washing your home or anything,
Yep.
Okay, that's nice. Like really not. That's really good. Sometimes we miss that step,
Mhm.
When we go on a listing and we're just trying to hit the market with it
Oh, yeah.
really fast, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have just hit that gutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times houses don't even really need to be repainted. I mean, if it's really bad, it can, but a lot of times a good power wash, a good clean to that building will actually make it go a long way. They'll bring the trim to pop out, the colors to pop out. It just makes the place look nicer.
Yeah.
Same thing with driveways.
It's more than just you two though, right?
Right now it's just us two.
we're trying to.
But we're trying to bring on more. We're expanding right now. We're looking into hiring. So
Lean and mean.
yeah.
Yeah, well, they have capes, you guys.
Yeah.
I love the capes.
And then
I love
you
the
guys
superhero
go
thing.
to our website. It'll tell you all our services that we provide. And if there's something on there that is unique that's not on there, just ask, and we are more than happy to work with you on it. It's not, and I have a lot of extensive resources too. I have a few friends that are general contractors all the way back to electricians. I know a lot of people I can pull from that help out in something that's not, that's very unique or special.
Oh, this is super awesome, because it's hard to find, like, grabbing a contractor to come
Yes.
and do a small project is like, there's like, I just don't have time. I don't know about anybody else, but contractors are really backed up right now.
And a lot of times if it's too small of a thing, a lot of contractors won't take it, or if they do, they have a big paycheck with it. I've noticed that a lot with the GCs, that they will not pick up little jobs because either it's not worth it for them or it's too much.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we come in, we'll help you with anything small or big, and we're very responsive and very quick,
Nice.
so.
Yeah, good. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, and we wanna thank everybody for letting us come in here and talk to you guys.
Yeah.
And please enjoy the bakeries back there and all the pastries and stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Okay, and I just wanted to thank you guys again. Did I just echo?
No, somebody's speaker turned on.
I want to bring Amy up for a broker minute. We have some things coming up. Amy's got a lot going on. Amy, tell us all the good deeds.
What do I have going on?
I don't know.
Is there something you want?
No, don't we have
She's
stuff coming
going
up
to
in
schedule.
October or something, like fires something? That's coming up in October. Never mind.
Maybe. What I wrote down, Draft Like a Lawyer is coming, so if you guys haven't seen that, it's a really awesome 16-hour clock hour class. It's coming out October 11th and 12th. It is down at CTAC. It's about $239, I think, for realtor members, which you all should be.
What is it called?
Draft Like a Lawyer.
Draft like.
Yeah, so it's one of my favorite though. If you guys have never taken it, take it, because it's usually Annie. I'm not sure if she's doing it this time or not, but Annie Fitzsimmons, she teaches you how to use all of our forms and use them properly, and how to properly respond and draft and write language that's appropriate, all that kind of good stuff. So super good class, and you get like half your clock hours like knocked out, right, from taking it. So that's coming up. Look for it. And it's in the Washington Realtor emails, but you can probably go to the Washington Realtor site as well.
When is it?
It's October 11th and 12th. 239 down in CTAC. And then I have this question from Kayla actually just had emailed me, and I couldn't figure out, I thought it was her, but she actually texted me, and that's why I couldn't find it in my email. I was like searching, going, I need to respond, and then I couldn't find it, and I was like, anyway, so I figured out she texted me, but Annie actually just had answered a mailbag question recently that pertained to the question that she asked, so I'm just gonna read this and we'll talk about it. So the question is, and if you guys don't know, because we're a Board of Realtors office, and you do have to be current on your dues, so if you haven't paid your dues, you're not getting the emails, but if you pay your dues, or at least be on payment plan, which you all should be on, then you'll get these emails weekly. And Annie picks a mailbag question from other brokers that write in relevant questions, and if she finds it interesting or she gets that question enough, she'll publish it weekly in her emails. So the question for this last week was, I have an exclusive buyer agency agreement with my buyer. Buyer entered into a mutually binding purchase and sale agreement. It's not my listing nor my office's listing. The buyer is unhappy with my services and wants to terminate the agency, which also terminates with the firm. What happens now with the purchase and sale and my compensation and firm? Is the agent's question. And this applies to, I get this, hers was more on the listing side. If a seller is signed into a listing agreement with a broker and they decide they want to terminate that agreement, what happens, or what are their options? And so the answer is, buyer is free to terminate the agency relationship with the broker and firm. Agency relationship is an at-will relationship and can be terminated unilaterally by either party at any time. However, terminating the agency relationship does not terminate the contractual obligation to the buyer to pay compensation to the broker's firm as set forth in the agreed to their buyer agency agreement. Buyer serving the agency relationship also has no impact on seller's obligation to compensate buyer broker through an offering in the MLS that was accepted by buyer and buyer broker's firm as evidenced by the binding PSA. So, to go back to that. So if you're already in a binding PSA and you've written a contract and your client wants to fire you or terminate your agreement, they can terminate that, but it doesn't terminate the buyer obligation or the seller's obligation who agreed to pay the broker that brought them a buyer obligation to pay the firm your commission. If buyer or seller indicates any intention of refusing to compensate buyer broker firm as required by the terms of the buyer agency agreement and the PSA, broker and DD should consult the firm's legal counsel. The facts presented seem to create a clear obligation on buyer and seller for payment of compensation to buyer broker's firm. Same thing with listing. If the seller chooses to terminate the listing agreement and not work with that broker, they can do that, and though it doesn't necessarily change their obligation to pay, so they need to make sure that that they get probably in writing that no compensation will be offered or owed to that listing broker any longer, as long as they choose not to work together. So make sure your terminations are in writing, whether it's an email or something saying that you choose not to work together any longer, and then just be aware that there still be commissions that would be owed. Any questions on any of that? Yeah,
I do, because it pertains to us. So we have a seller who's with somebody else, and it's been terrible. So there's a thing that says provided further on the listing agreement, provided further, if the seller cancels this agreement without legal cause. So that part was kind of the part we had question about, like, what's the legal cause? We don't like the way, there's tons of errors and stuff. And so I just wonder, what does that mean?
So they're in a binding agreement for a certain period of time.
Right,
30 days, yeah. Right? So if they don't have legal cause to terminate the agreement, then they're obligated to potentially pay that firm a commission. And or if they terminate it and end it early, they could also be due, the seller could be obligated to pay back like marketing costs that broker, has put forth to that point. So whether they've paid for photos or whatever, the staging or anything like that, if they're trying to terminate it prior to the end of that agreement. So what legal cause means would be stipulated in the agreement. So, and if there's no clear reason why the seller can terminate it, then they don't have legal cause to terminate it. Now, because it is at will, they don't have to work with that broker, but that doesn't disobligate them from, the terms of what the
So potentially paying back photos.
They could still, if the seller terminated that agreement, went listed it with somebody else, and that agent sold it, they'd still be obligated to pay that broker a commission, and they could be obligated to pay back that broker, marketing fees and all kinds of stuff. So that's why I say, if you're going to cancel a listing agreement, get it in writing from both parties, that no compensation, is gonna be required to be paid. So that's, if I was gonna go work with somebody that had an agreement with somebody else, I'd say before we go work together, put it in writing with that other agent that you're terminating the agreement and that no compensation is gonna be paid back, or that you have no obligation to them, once you relist it. And if you have that in writing, then they can feel confident moving forward with a new broker, but otherwise they could be bound to what that first listing agreement said.
And there's often a form for everything, is there not? a form for that?
Yeah.
Would be a really good form.
Yeah, there's not for that.
There will be.
Yeah.
On that same flow, a lot of my listings with their expired listings, so if it's expired, it's not canceled. But nowadays, there's the tail provision on everything. So if expired, I relisted it 30 days later, the tail provision is 180 days.
Yeah, but the tail provision, I'd have to go back and read the language on the tail provision. The tail provision, I believe though, is just to say that if that broker had procured a buyer during their listing period, that the seller's obligated to pay them a commission for 180 days. So that first listing broker would have to prove that the buyer that's now purchasing was procured during their listing term.
Okay.
So it's not, so like if you took a listing after it was expired and then a brand new buyer came in, it's the first time they saw the property, they offer it. If that first listing broker can't prove that that buyer came prior to that, then they're not, that tail provision doesn't apply.
Wouldn't that apply also in the other case though, too? Because for instance, this person has showed the property 2 times. So one of those 2 people would have had to been the one who showed the property. I don't know. I'm asking. I'm just totally riffing on this one because I don't need a can of worms.
Yeah. So if that first broker wants to claim that they were the procuring cause, that buyer was procured during their listing period through their marketing efforts, I mean, they would have to prove that in order to make a case that they're due that commission.
Yeah.
Unless that agreement is not expired, then it doesn't matter where the buyer comes from. If they still have an active listing agreement obligating them for 30 days to pay that broker, then they could still be obligated to pay that broker. That's why I would say get it in writing with the other agent that they're terminating with, that, agreement's terminated, no commission, and there isn't a form for that, and maybe advise them to seek, some legal counsel on that, because we're not lawyers, but I would make it clear that they're not gonna be obligated to have to pay that broker any longer. Okay, that's it for me.
Oh, thank God for you.
I know.
I don't know if anybody else's brain doesn't work like that.
No.
Mine doesn't. So I'm thankful for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm interested in it, so fascinating to me, but I'm just like, ooh, lots of text to Amy. If anybody ever has any questions, Amy loves to get texts.
Apparently I don't remember that now.
No, you're great at getting that.
I was on vacation, so I was like, oh, I gotta get back to her, and then I was looking at my email for it.
All right, so I was pouring through that book, exactly what to say. And I was reading this thing and I was thinking, and also I was on a Zoom maybe it was yesterday. I was on a lot of Zooms yesterday. But we were talking about how to find the motivated. That was, somebody had made a comment, and we were talking about things to do to, push your business forward. And they were saying, oh, you have to find the motivated. Well, that's a big statement. Find the motivated. What does that even mean, right? How do you find the motivated? And in this business, I don't know about you guys, but in my business, I have a really big pipeline and a really small escrow right now. I have a lot of people that are out there and I'm moving them forward peg by peg, but they're not writing contracts, right? And so I feel like at any moment something's gonna switch or change, and then a bunch of people are gonna drop out of the sky because I just keep the way it works. Right. Yes, that's how it works. But right now I feel like it's more pipeline and less active, motivated people, right? So how do you find the motivated? And so I was digging into motivation. Motivation, the meaning of the word is the true base of all negotiation. It's a magic word. And if you can understand the true meaning of motivation, it's magic. you can get just about anyone to do just about anything, right? If you can figure out what motivates them. And in real estate, it's so important to understand that. In my job, we use needs analysis to find the motivated agents and what motivates them to move them forward in their business and grow their business or their team or whatever it is they need to do. But in real estate, you're meeting with your buyers, you're meeting with your sellers, and it's the words that you use. It's perfecting your language when you're talking with them to figure out what it is. So what is motivation? Motive is, the beginning of it is the motive or the reason somebody does something. And the Asian part is action. It's the to do that they do, right? So it's the reason to do something. And I've talked before about impetus, the thing that drives us and pulls us along in our businesses. If you create goals with impetus behind it, it'll pull you into your own motivation. But in our sit down with buyers and sellers, we have to figure out the thing that really moves them quickly, right? Because we can move people slowly. It can be on a 40-year plan. I can have people in the pipeline and just move one peg forward, I'm never gonna move. I'm never gonna move until something happens in their life, like somebody dies, right? That's a motivator. So I put this little example, like if I put my hand on a hot stove, I'm gonna be instantly motivated to get it off, right? That's an instant motivator. Wouldn't you agree if the reason we're big enough, you could get someone to do just about anything, right? Who has kids? Okay. Who has a friend? You know, like anything, people like to be pushed, they like to be motivated, they like to tell you what they want. It's both sides of that coin. But anyway, with kids, it's easily you're motivated by them. They're whining, throwing a tantrum, telling you over and over and over and over and over they want to go to the mall. Especially right now, I have a 14-year-old, so that's what's happening with me. But I know exactly what my kid's motivation is, and I can get them to move. And it's like my kids know exactly what mine is. She knows my hot button, which is my motivator. You have to understand how people are motivated. So how do you find out people's motivation when you're on an appointment with them?
Ask a question.
Good questions. So what is like the number one question you can ask a buyer or seller that will instantly get you an understanding of what their motivation is? Do you know what, like, think of the number one question you ask buyers or sellers.
What's gotten you the market?
When?
Right? When?
When are you
Why?
going and why are you going and when do you need to be there by?
Yeah, right? That's pretty direct. How important is it on a scale of 1 to 10? If you give them a scale and you ask them some questions, you can really see what's important and get underneath the real, like their desperation. I hate to say that, but that's what you need to find, their desperation. Because, you know, what is your experience with this? But what is your experience with buying a house? And they'll tell you their story. And then in that, you can ask them questions that lead you into deeper understanding of what their motivation is. What is most important to you about this? What is most important to you about being in your house by May 1st, right? People work harder to move away from the hurt. In BOLD, so BOLD is a class, for anybody that doesn't know what BOLD is a class that Keller Williams puts on that is direct on scripts and understanding language, right? And how to work with buyers and sellers quickly. So BOLD taught us logic makes you think, emotion makes you act. And I always thought, oh yeah, so I stick to the emotional side because that's what pushes people to act. But really the honest truth is that logic and emotions both make people act, both of them. Logic, I think, takes a little bit longer, right? And so I think you have to make people feel it first. They have to feel right about something first. And if they feel right about something first, then the logic will come in the back and confirm that feeling. That's the best negotiation tool you can have with your buyers and sellers, is get off the logic game and let them self-discover as you go along and tell them the logic along the way. But first you have to get them in the feeling mode, right? So the magic words here are, how would you feel if blank? How would you feel if your home didn't sell, right? How would you feel if someone beat you to your dream home? How would you feel if we created an opportunity for the best terms on this deal for you? That's a positive side of it, right? Because there's two different sides to the coin. You can either motivate somebody with the pain point, or you can motivate somebody with the positive point. But I'm gonna draw this chart for you guys, because I use this, we use this in TL. It's a, not with this one. Can I put these on our Amazon list?
Problem is I do, and then the good ones get taken.
Okay, so it's this big square. And maybe you guys have seen this, maybe not. But this is present pleasure. You know, they wanna buy a house, they're in their comfort zone, they're living in a house, nothing's wrong, nothing's changed, nothing's in boxes, nothing's in transit, nothing's in contract. And then you move to present pain. And this is in your conversation with them, right? So maybe they put their house on the market and they're still sitting in it. Maybe they think that they're gonna get 1.2 million for it, you know, and you're now having to have this conversation with them and find what's gonna motivate them. And you bring them into present pain. Well, how would it feel if your house sat on the market for 30 more days? What would that look like? What would that look like in your life? Maybe they don't care, right? So you have to take them from present pain to future pain. Well, if your house sat on the market for 30 more days, and what would that look like to you? And then whatever they say, and then you move over here and say, well, now in 30 days from now, when your house is still on the market and you lose out on that house you really want that you have under contract, right? You have written an offer on a house and now you got to get your house sold. So you start to build in these feelings, right? And then the logic of the market and timing, all that stuff will come as in the conversation, and it'll confirm all of their feeling here. The problem is that up here is future pleasure. Right? And so then if you know, what if your house sits on the market for 30 days and then that moment of pain, you're painting that story and feeling for them. I'm a people pleaser, and so I want to jump right up here and give them future pleasure. If it didn't and it sold, you know, then you could move into your new house and everything would close and be perfect, but you forgot this. You have to bring in future pain because you have to show them what will happen if this doesn't happen, right? You have to bring it here. So this, people want to skip and jump the middle and go up to future pleasure, but that's not how it works. You have to create a conditional future scenarios your clients can feel. And then the logic will prove these things. But you have to go in this whole, you have to go hit all 4 quarters of this quadrant or you're going to lose them. And they won't have that depth of feeling that you've been trying to push, right? You won't get that motivation because all of a sudden they'll start to pull back on you if you go up here. Present pain, future pleasure, it's just too far of a jump for their brains. So when you become the storyteller, you know, just imagine, that's the brain loves those 2 words. That's the magic words for storytelling. You know, just imagine when you get this house sold and your new house closed and you're in it by August 27th, and that's when the school, you know, opens up and everybody's going back to school, and just imagine what that's going to look like, right? But you have to go through all of this stuff. So you have to first say, oh man, what would it feel like if school started and you're still in your old house? What would it feel like if school started and the house you wanted got sold to a different buyer, higher bidder, and you lost out on that home? And now you're out searching for homes and you have to search in a $50,000 less bracket because the points went up half a point, and now you're sold out of this whole school district and you have to switch to a different one. What would that feel like, you know? But then, boy, what would it feel like if you did get it sold everything was golden and your kids got on the school bus on 4th and 23rd. You know, it's you're really painting that vision for them so that they can see themselves there. And then they understand when you want to reduce the price $25,000 or you want to, you know, really get it down so people will get into contract faster. They'll be motivated to be moved because of this future pain is a hot stove. Without this, you don't have a hot stove. Present pain is, I mean, it is kind of a hot stove, but not as much as hot and then hotter. If that makes any sense at all. Wouldn't you agree that blank would bring your family a wonderful holiday? Oh, this is what I was going to tell you. Oh, sorry, I just jumped ahead. If I take this whole entire process, we're talking about buyers and sellers, and then I shift it over into your lives, right? What is your present pleasure right now? It's summertime. We're all hanging out. We're doing lots of barbecues. We've been talking about all summer, like working our sphere and having these conversations at all these family events, you know, going to Chelan and going camping, going to the ocean, doing all this stuff. That is my present pleasure right now. And so what is my present pain? I just told you, my pipeline is full. And I don't have any motivated buyers or sellers, right? And so what is my future pain there? Well, we're gonna September and October, and then we're going right into the holidays, right? And my family, I put money in the bank for Christmas. I put money in the bank for the holidays. You know, we're the family gathering spot. And so if I don't close any deals, what is that gonna look like for my family?
A rough Christmas. Couple of hot dogs.
That's right, Kelly. That's right. And nobody in my family likes a bag of dogs. So
I'm proud of you for saying that.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I've
come so far, Molly.
curbing myself. So, you know, but what would it look like if I put my head down a little bit, made, you know, 10 extra calls a day and really put some business in escrow? What would that look like for my family? What is the most amazing Christmas I can think of? What's the most amazing holiday you can think of that you could give your family? You know, what would 1 or 2 closings in the end of October, the beginning of November do for you? And how would that change that? Right? So you can use the same thing to motivate yourself, right? It's a term of accountability. And if you can't motivate yourself, which is really hard for me to do, find somebody. We got 100 and how many, 63 brokers here? There's so many people here and we're all friends and we're all family. So find somebody to motivate you to have a like rockin' fourth quarter. Wouldn't that be awesome? Anyway, sorry, that was my soapbox.
Would be
But I
awesome.
just want you guys to know that I'm here for you. We're here for you as your leadership team. We have so many people in our office that are new, and I'd love to see more faces in the office so that we can do these networking and mix and mingle and find somebody to practice scripts and find somebody to read a book with, you know? Find a buddy. It's really good in real estate to have one. After this, we're gonna do that, after Lynn's CMA class, we're gonna have that networking out in the parking lot. And I just think it's a super awesome time to just meet everybody and what's going on in your business, right? What does it feel like for your winter? Wow, I just like sank the room there. Bring the joy back. Anyway, so.
Hey, if you sank the room, it means that you hit the
Serious.
nail on the head.
Yeah, you did it.
You did it.
Molly, that is my life right now. I am living that as a seller, as a buyer, and as the real estate agent.
Okay.
And it sucks. So not only do we have to be real estate agents, but we have to be therapists to keep our people in check, because it's really easy to lose your marbles, and it's hard. It's hard to, because we want, you know, do you want pain or do you want pleasure?
Right. Right.
And it's easier sometimes to just go to the pain. right? Cause pleasure, like we want it, but it, I don't know, it's sort of like, you
Because
know.
the pain is the faster motivator.
Right,
It
yeah.
attracts us more to move.
But like
It's a
my kid
subconscious
starts school in Wenatchee next week.
Right.
If she's gonna go to Wenatchee, or she starts in Snohomish in 2 weeks.
Right.
What's the conundrum? What's my pain? You know, like, and all these other things. Well, my barn's not done, so I can't move into a barn that's not finished, but I don't want my kid to start, right? And so like, we have to have those real conversations with our
Yeah.
people.
Which one is the hotter stove? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, I feel like I have about 12.
Yeah. Right, and sometimes you just have to change one thing, right? And change the way you look at things, if things you look at change, right? And so sometimes it's just one thing that will move us in the right direction, and when we feel all stopped up like that, for sure. Real estate can be a really lonely industry. We don't feel like that here because we're in Marysville. We're KW Marysville. KW Marysville is a completely different brokerage than other brokerages. But when you step outside of our like golden circle here, it can be a lonely world, and you don't have people to mix and mingle with, and people don't want to share their secrets and talk about what they're doing, right? They don't want to tell you how they're winning, because they feel like if they tell you how they're winning, then they're going to lose out on a deal. I think it's just really important for us to all lean in, take care of each other, share how we're doing things, because everything's shifting and changing right now. It's different. We're doing things different than we did a year ago. Even 4 months ago, things are happening differently. I'm having different conversations. So put that all in your brain, go out and get some new deals, push people off the fence, find their motivation, figure out what it is they need to do to move one peg forward, and hopefully that peg is signing a contract, right? Because that's what we really want. I want contracts signed so that you guys can have an awesome fourth quarter. That's my hope for you. For the end of Tuesday.
Yay.
Why does it smell like food in here?
I don't know. Somebody has onions somewhere. That's all I know.
Joe, are you microwaving something out there? Oh, that's it. Yeah, go tell her. It's making us, my stomach just growled. Okay, what time is it?
It's 11:58.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's
Perfect
wrap it up and then take a bathroom break and come back in here for Lynn's CMA class. Because Lynn, and like me, back in 2009, 2010, 2011, actually it was about 2010 that I quit. It's like, I quit. We did BPOs to stay alive in real estate, lots of them. And after you've done a lot of BPOs, you really know how to price a home and do a CMA. It's just it's a golden nugget there. So if you guys want to know how Rockstar does a CMA, let's hang out for Lynn's class. And then afterwards we'll all eat. So take a bathroom break, get a coffee, get a snack, and get a notebook.
You're carrying foods here too, so that could be what we're talking about.
That's there.